Day 7 is here. Yes, we are 1 week into our raid playthrough. What's up, guys? BARRYGAMING here. We got some stuff going on. Since we've been playing the first whole week, we now have the legendary hero Alice unlocked. We are starting to power her up, and her abilities have actually come in a huge amount of handiness. One thing that we are actively trying to do is ascend these heroes, and one of the potions you need is from the Magic Keep. However, the Magic Keep boss can be a little tricky, and yeah, Alice is actually one that comes in very handy for this one right here, and it's mainly because of a couple of her abilities. The fact that she places an extra hit if the target has any active skills on cooldown, which is really cool. Each hit has an 80% of decreasing the duration of a random buff. That's really important on this hero here. She of course has some really good AoE damage too, which is really solid, as well as increasing the cooldowns of those enemies. And then she even has a single target nuke that ignores defense, is really good. And what I really love is the aura here. So we've had Kale as our main kind of support leader, giving us, you know, increased HP. We've had Sun Wukong giving us that arena speed to make sure we're going first. And now we have something that's going to be really good against bosses, and that is increases all allies attack by 30%, which is just an insane amount. You can see we're working on some food, getting some 4 stars built up and such for when we want to upgrade the next hero. Like I said, we're kind of at the point where upgrading some heroes is gonna be a little bit of a trip. They're gonna have to get them ascended first. A lot of things we need to do to get them going. We don't know what 4 stars we're necessarily going to use in the long run just yet, so we don't want to over invest them. Rank wise, we probably could start upgrading some more of our 4 stars, but I feel like we're going to upgrade 4 stars into 5 stars that are going to be food heroes for heroes like Alice, Kale, things like that, to continue to power up those heroes. Skills wise, we have completely tapped out of what we need right here. We don't have any of the legendary tomes just yet, so I don't want to invest them, the regular ones, into other heroes I might not be keeping. So right now we are in a holding pattern, and then we're currently working to just ascend some of these heroes. The tricky part here is the fact that we need a lot of these potions, and we're not pushing too far into the content just yet. A lot of them are needing the arcane keep one as well, which is kind of annoying. We've already got Kale maxed out, but we're working through our upgrades, and we've done a couple things to help us along the way. We've unlocked 3 total spots in the Guardian ring so that we are constantly upgrading our heroes without having to necessarily use them in combat. Granted, leveling them up in combat is a very fast thing, which is good, and we still have just the base version of the mine. Right now, we are currently in what I would call a holding pattern as far as summons go. I kind of want to save these up until we can get a hero like what we have in the progressive chance event, where we can kind of pick which hero we want to go for. My goodness, I mean, this hero just looks amazing. We could use some sort of tank hero or support hero on our account, so we're gonna wait and see, because right now between our 3 main heroes here, Kale, Alice, and Sun Wukong, we have lots of damage, we have lots of debuffing, but we don't really have a great support hero. The only support hero we're rocking right now is Mausoleum Mage, which is not a bad hero to start with. Pretty solid stats, has a heal, has, you know, debuff removal. Really awesome toolkit overall. I love that he also increases our crit rate and defense, and I think Alice is going to be one of our main focuses here. Now, as far as over investing in gear, we're trying not to do that. I'm trying to slowly upgrade our gear, getting as many up to 16 as possible, as long as they're good. But you'll notice one thing that I'm doing on pretty much every hero, because we don't have that solid support hero just yet. Lifesteal set is our lifeblood. I don't know what we would do without this lifesteal set. Definitely not get as much progress as we've had so far. So the one thing I want to show off is we have been continuing to work through our campaign, even on brutal difficulty. We've been able to pretty much 3-star every battle except for, I think, the boss right here. We've been able to go through almost every single battle with a 2-hero combo, and we're continuing to use the Sun Wukong and the Kale, which is working amazingly. The gear upgrades definitely seem to be working on these 2 heroes. You can see their health pools are getting bigger, their damage output is getting bigger, and making sure that no heroes die in any of these waves is important. That's going to be the way we get 2 additional stars, which is going to unlock more resources, more summons, and just better ways to actually make progress on our account here. Like I said, we've only done like 1 purchase so far, so we're very low spender account here. And the one thing that I did do is I did get the monthly pass for, I think it's like 10 bucks a month, just because it gives you a ton of auto battles, which is just really good. So yeah, we're having a really easy time. You can see here we're getting lots of 3 stars, which again is going to continue to let us get more and more things, including in this one Sacred Shard, which is going to be awesome. I think I finished out normal for Void Shard. Hard I do need to go back through. There's a lot of these I did not do, and it's just going to be time consuming with a bunch of energy, which should be acquirable, and getting that sacred shard is going to be important, and then eventually we'll work through nightmare as well. So campaign going good, find the time, grind it out. It's going to be a huge help. And of course, we're continuing to do faction wars whenever possible to get some additional resources, so that's awesome as well. One thing that is a big improvement today compared to what we were doing before is, you can see we got through the easy boss. I have not tried normal boss just yet, and man, some of our guildmates have some pretty stacked teams already. My goodness. I'm going to go into battle with ours, and we're going to do one big change like I was talking about. We're taking Kale out of that leader spot, and we are putting in our Alice, because that's going to be giving us that increased attack in battles by 30%. And hey, we're doing boss battles here. Boss battles is all about that damage. Let's see if we can survive. That's going to be the biggest thing. Like I said, we have that one support hero right now, which should help out, and we have our 3 main damage dealers with lifesteal capabilities. The only downside is this one little captain aiding hero. I love her. She does amazing. I love how she makes our other heroes do their basic attacks on her turn. But let's be honest, overall, this is not going to be a huge help to keep her alive. She'll get a couple attacks off that ignore shield, but it doesn't really do anything to buff her other teammates. So if she does go down, that's fine. The most important hero on an early game account, especially for bossing, is going to be Kale, because you see he's doing like 11,000 damage, but wait till it's the boss's turn. Look at all those poison ticks. 30,000, 30,000. So much damage just from those poison dots. You can see right here, we got one right there, which is another 15,000 damage. The Kale just completely rocks this type of game mode. This is the main reason why most people pick Kale over the other starters, because he is just insanely good against this giant monstrosity that we have to fight a couple times a day. And you see right here, we're almost making it to like round 15. We were doing that on easy mode pretty easily. We did, of course, lose our main Kale hero, and it does look like we're gonna get wiped out here towards the end, but doing 800,000 damage, still pretty dang good. We actually have 3 keys to go through here today. I'm gonna do at least one more right now so I don't forget. But again, keeping your Kale alive is probably going to be one of the most important things. I should really take a lot of Sun Wukong's gear and swap it over to Kale, because Sun Wukong has just slightly better gear, I feel like 1 or 2 stars higher, things like that probably would be the smart play. You know, we got debuffs and everything going up here, which is nice from our team. We want to see as many of those poison stacks as possible. That's how we do all of our damage right here on our squad. So the one nice thing is, you see right there how our newest hero Alice went in there and ran in and did her basic attack. That removed 1 turn from the buff from the boss, which increases the survivability of our team, which is pretty cool. We even still have our support hero, our Mausoleum Mage, kicking right now, still alive. Hopefully you get some more heals off. Yeah, we got a heal right there. That's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Yeah, we're just kind of working our way through this up to round 9. Still have 4 heroes alive. I'd say that's kind of a high roll, to be honest. The boss is occasionally resisting some of our stuff that we're putting on him, which is annoying, but we can get multiple rounds of Kale's poison up. That's from right here. We have 2 poison ticks right there. That's another 30,000. The stuns are a little rough, and you can see how the RNG on these bosses can be a little frustrating at times, but hey, if we're getting our damage in, we're helping the clan get damage in. That's the most important part right here. That is just absolutely huge. One thing that you'll probably notice too is there is clan versus clan going on, which is pretty dang cool. You can see 2 guilds fighting each other. There's of course all these different objectives to get points and everything, and the nice thing is you're going to get a lot of food from this. A lot of the rank 3 chickens are going to be coming your way. A lot of energy are coming your way. Heck, even some of these potions here are going to be coming in handy. So you see we've already gone all the way up to this milestone here. We're going to continue to get more food. There's even things like rank charms and rarity charms and stuff like that, which is cool, and eventually an ancient shard on top of that. And you see there's tons of objectives you can go through and see what all the things you want to do is. You can see the leaderboard, which we are very low because we are a very new clan, but it's a really cool way to get some additional resources, and we are currently trying to push in as many of these tournaments as possible. Some of them have finished. You can see right here. I think I ended up pretty low, honestly. I didn't do well on this one here. That's the global leaderboard. There's no way we have any chance on that. We ended up 12th. Yeah, we didn't do too many things in that one. I'm kind of hoping some of these other ones go good. The Sand Devil, of course, we can't do until our account level's 38 just yet, but we do have the Fire Knight, and we're gonna try to grind that out here today, because there's a bunch of resources I want from this entire list. So let's jump into it. I've never actually done the Fire Knight Castle just yet, so this is going to go very, very quickly to start with. This is going to be a grinded out type thing. You're going to see us just one-shotting these waves, and that's the reason why, if you do have time during the day, make sure you just grind out as many things as possible up to a certain level. I haven't really been like dying for the gear upgrades and stuff, so you can see some of these heroes really pack a punch here. You're going to be able to get certain types of sets from each one of these bosses. I just haven't had the need to just yet, but now that it is actually one of the tournaments, it's really important to go for to get those additional resources. Even if you don't rank high, just getting the free resources is going to be a huge upgrade here. And you can see with this boss here, based on the number of attacks he takes, lowers his shield level. So he has X number of, I guess you could say, like reduced damage blocks going on. Every time he gets hit, it lowers. So heroes like our Alice that does multiple hits here, watch. We got the raid captain, everybody coming in multiple hits, that breaks the shield, and then all of a sudden, boom, the HP just completely starts melting. He goes back, of course, going back into that defensive stance, but even with the defensive stance, he's still taking damage, is just reduced damage, and he does, of course, get some healing back, so you do need to be able to break through that as fast as possible and have like a damaging attack go before he gets to go, and if you do, you're pretty solid. You see we have different tournament points going on here, which is awesome as well. That is exactly why we are doing this, and we're probably going to spend quite a bit of our daily energy today to grind through this and try to get as many points as possible, because I really want, at the very least, the rewards, if not maybe see, even as a low spender slash basically free to play. I mean, not really, let's be honest, we're not free to play, but we're extremely low spender, buying literally the cheapest 2 packs you can get. Let's see what we can do. I feel like we have a chance to be decent here. So he did get some of that health back, and looks like we're gonna kick his butt. Yeah. Oh man, you see the damage. Kale still carrying us pretty hard. Sun Wukong, Alice. I almost feel like I might have already spent too much of our energy trying to ascend Alice up instead of our Sun Wukong. Like, Sun Wukong low-key is very good in the early game. Not as good as Kale. Everything you do should be invested in Kale. But remember, both our Sun Wukong and our Alice literally have 0 skill books invested into him, whereas Kale has everything invested into him and has been ascended all the way up to 5-star. And I mean, he's been ranked up to 5 purple star. He's just been ascended all the way. He's just got everything at his disposal, and you see right here, I think we're gonna get pretty far against this boss, because like, yes, some of these are taking a little bit to get through, but our health is in no way, shape, or form at risk in these fights. So even if they take a little time, so long as we can continue to burst through, we should be in a good spot here. Let's just continue. Let's grind it out. Let's see how far we can make it here today. And again, having Kale, having Alice, having Sun Wukong, all these heroes with AoE abilities makes getting to boss waves and getting through campaign extremely easy. I don't know if anybody besides Kale can do the early game as easy as he can. There's of course a couple other good options. I've used them on different accounts, and now that I've used Kale, I feel like I can never go back to another starter. He is just so freaking good. It is insane how good that this character can be. So big damage there. That is nice to see. Get through that shield and then let our big damage dealers through, like Sun Wukong. Come on, big hit. Boom. Here we go. We got the kill again. So yeah, we're continuing to get more and more points, which is the important part to get those additional resources. Kale, killing it. Absolutely killing it here. So pretty good. Back onto the boss. And I don't know about you guys, but even on any turn-based game I've played, I like playing hands-free. If I have to turn on off and do like a manual setup to get like a certain checkpoint, like this one, boss has now 7 of those shield layers, which is going to be extremely hard to break through unless you're using your abilities smartly before he gets to go again, and then he goes right back to 7 and heal. This is where doing it in manual mode might be of some assistance, but as long as we're working through, we're going in a negative direction on his HP bar overall, as well as keeping our hero pretty much alive. That is important, but against this boss, it's really important to keep all 5 of your heroes alive, because those additional hits are huge for breaking that shield. If we lose our hero right here, this is going to be an issue on breaking the shield, and means we're going to deal less damage every time to this boss. You can see right here, not even every time that's happening either. So this is really good. Getting the raid captain hit in is really important, because now we have 3 hits coming in that are completely exposed, tons of damage. But you can see right there, we now lost our hero. So we have to see if our 4 heroes that remain are enough to break through that shield as well as deal damage, because I actually feel like the HP bar is going to go back up the other direction. And this is the only downside of not having luck. Like on our other account that we play, we have Archbishop. Archbishop is amazing for healing, debuffing, and you see here, now that we lost that 5th hero, we're never breaking through, and the bar is just going back up. So there's zero hope that we outlast this and actually get the W. So we're gonna have to, you know, play our things right. We're gonna have to upgrade our heroes, get some more things going. But if we come back over to the tournament here and we go to the Fire Knight, we are getting some points accumulated. We're up to 75 already, so we just need to grind this out, see how many we can get. My goal is to get, like, you know, oh wait, we're actually already in 4th, which is cool. Not many people are grinding this out just yet, and especially on newer servers, there's a lot less competition. So yeah, grind it out. Getting some extra gear and everything could be cool. I don't know if we're gonna get up to the tops because that's a little crazy. I really just want to come away with as many ancient shards from these events as possible, and of course grinding this out is going to get us all these additional rewards. So please pay attention to tournaments. Tournaments are going to be an amazing way to get some progression going. The other thing we've actually done is I've spent a lot of our energy grinding out for mastery scrolls. These are really important because these are things that are going to buff your hero, give us additional crit rate, give us additional crit damage, accuracy, heals this champion for 10% of their maximum HP the first time an enemy is killed each round. That helps you keep your team alive. Really, really important skill trees that are going to come in handy here. And the way you actually grind these out is, again, in the dungeons mode over here. We need to come on over to the Minotaur's Labyrinth. So you can see as you go further and further down, you get better progression. You can do some better stuff. I'm intrigued to see what we can do now. I kind of want to go in a more offensive setup here and see how this turns out. I'm going to do this one on manual. I know I don't do it very often, but I want to try to keep our skills in a smart play here. So I do want to do like this, some AoE damage. I'm going to do this. Surprise, we didn't get the kills there, but again, we're not gonna just let the AI use our really valuable skills right away that are gonna make this a little harder. Let's go for her back here, do an attack captain, weaken that one up. We're then gonna attack that one, have the extra damage, do some AoE, and honestly here, just doing a basic attack again, probably the best play. So we're gonna do our AoE hit with our new Alice hero. Oof, took some damage, not too bad. Let's try to just take some enemies out with some basic hits before the next round. Let all of our cooldowns kind of come up, which is nice to see. And now we have everything essentially for this boss to try and nuke them down. We're gonna go and pick off the little targets first if possible. I think we want to buff our team. Increases the attack and crit. That's probably gonna be the best thing. Continuing to do AoE damage is great. Oh, can we survive, please? Don't. No, you took out our hero. That's not nice. That's not nice at all. You can do some AoE, clear out some targets potentially. We are going to heal up and purge any debuffs. We are going to go with Alice's Queenslayer because if we do get the kill here, we get to go for another hit on the main boss, so it's extra damage. And then at this point, we can kind of let this just go the normal route. We can go back to auto because we've used our ability smartly, and that should get us in a state that lets us to actually beat it. Whereas before, on full auto, we were stuck on this boss. We weren't able to easily beat it. Now, if we just time our ability so that we can take those two side Minotaurs down very quickly, this becomes so much easier, like ridiculously easier. And now it looks like we're actually gonna get the win. It's close, our HP is still dropping, and this is where those lifesteal sets really pay dividends. Yeah, and you can see we got some scrolls here. So here's the one thing with the Minotaur's Labyrinth. You only necessarily want to put heroes in here that you need to upgrade their masteries. Because we have all these heroes in, you can see it randomly selects one of them and gives them a scroll. Typically, what I like to do is go down to like a little bit easier of a difficulty and only put in the heroes that I need to actively upgrade, because I don't know if I'm gonna really go in the long run and use heroes like Mausoleum Mage, like our Morag Bronzelock. Man, that's the name. She looks really cool though. I love the dwarves in this game. We typically want to run just like our main heroes that want those scrolls to get those upgrades. Using auxiliary heroes, well, it can help you, might hinder you, but again, it really comes down to what you're trying to grind out here, how many scrolls you're trying to get. I think maybe Kale got 3 right there. I don't even remember, but yeah, going for the highest stage possible, definitely going to be a huge success. So the one thing I was spending a lot of my energy on, again, like I said, is going through these stages here, trying to get these potions. I want to keep upgrading our heroes here, and as you see, the one I'm actively working on right now for ascending has been the Alice. Look at the numbers it goes up to. It goes up to crazy numbers of potions. I think what might be smart is grinding out some Sun Wukong and trying to get him a little bit more additional stats. Again, none of these legendary heroes have any skill upgrades because we just don't have it, and we're kind of in a holding pattern. This is where we're at. We're having fun, we're having a blast. And what do you guys think? Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Make sure, guys, if you're going to start off, use the link in the description, use those and enjoy the game. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.